Okay, I got my Bersa Thunder. I want to show you how I wear it when I open carry sometimes. I don't open carry all the time. I don't open carry in every place. So a lot of people get me confused with the hardcore open carry everywhere people. Um, Actually, the truth of it is that even among the most hardcore open carriers I know, they don't open carry all the time. Okay, so you have to understand that right away. It depends. You know, it's a judgment call. But here we got a Bersa Thunder. Now, when I'm sitting in the car, I'm going to have it at a 3 o'clock position so I can sit because I can't sit, you know. So, and I like carrying this way. So what I'll do is when I step out of the car, I'll put it to the 2 o'clock position. And the reason why I will is because I'm a faster draw that way. And notice I have a 1 inch gap so I can get a hold of the firearm faster. I don't have to thumb it anywhere. And this is much faster than appendix. Because appendix, you have to move something. This you don't when you're open carrying. Even concealed carry, my jacket will come right up to here. My baseball jacket will come right up to here. So essentially, it's almost like open carry because I only have just a little bit of the jacket to move so I can get to the gun. I can get the gun just as fast, almost concealed carry, as I can open carry. So the reason I carry like this is because notice my wrist is touching the grip of the gun. If I feel there's a threat, when my wrist is touching the gun, I know where the handle of the gun is. I can just get it out and shoot right away because I know where the grip is. See, I'm not fumbling for a grip. I just know where it's at because I'm touching it. But even if I'm not touching it, I know where it's at because I practice 25 draws before I leave the house every day. So you want to practice doing draws 25 times a day or more with the particular outfit that you're wearing. So when I'm like this and I feel that there's a threat, my wrist is touching the grip of the gun. I have a 1 inch gap, so I'm not going to be using my thumb like some people who wear their firearm tight up against their shirt. Bad idea, because now you're going to have to take your thumb, push down, grab, pull it out. Okay, this way you got a gap. You want at least a 1 inch gap so you can get that gun and not have to fumble with it using your thumb. Okay, so speed is the most important thing for survival because you want to get that first shot off at that person. You want to make sure you shoot accurately too. So here I am like this. And what I'll do is I'll just do 25 for you. And the reason why I go a little bit quicker is because I want to stress myself a little bit. Don't pay attention to how good I reholster. Pay attention to how I draw, how it's consistent. Because if you do 25, don't give yourself a break. It's kind of like a little workout, you know. But it also gives you a little bit of stress too, so that you can mess up sometimes. So I'll do 25 for you. I might do a couple more for you too. All right, so there's 25. Now what I'm doing is I'm drawing with one hand, okay? And the reason why I am is because most self-defense situations are close quarters, okay? And accuracy, you don't need perfect accuracy at this range because within 7 yards, you can pull out your firearm with one shot or two shots, hit the target, okay? And you have this hand in case he comes in at you closer than 7 yards. And the reason why we know it's dangerous at close quarters is because of the Tooler's drill. A person can run 7 yards in 1.5 seconds. Whether they're armed or disarmed, they could be in danger. They could be a danger to you because they can get you to you quicker. Now they might be martial arts experienced or some other thing like that. So the idea is getting the gun out with one hand so that you can fight with this hand too. See, I can fight with this hand and I can shoot. So I've got two weapons, okay? Now if I wanted to, I could go for this knife here and I can fight with the knife and the firearm at the same time. Now the knife is for in case you're grappling with somebody, okay? In case you're grappling with somebody and it's already apparent that you're probably going to lose your firearm or they got it from you or something like that, you can pull out this blade right here and you can get it out within a second. And it's really important having a blade like this on your belt because if you have a folding knife, you got to pull out the knife, you got to unfold it and stuff like that. Whereas here, let's say that I didn't have a firearm. See, just like that. I am out right now, okay? So you want to set yourself up to be the fastest that you can, even if it means open carrying sometimes, because you want to win, okay? And the thing we have to understand is that there's no second place winners in a gunfight or a knife fight or any type of fight. So Bill Jordan was the one who said that. No second place winners. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. Now, most self-defense situations with private citizens, usually what happens by the vast majority is you're going to show the gun, they're going to run. Or you're going to fire one shot, they're going to run. Or you're going to fire one shot and hit somebody and they're going to run. Why? Because these guys, although they're bad and they're criminals, they want to get the heck out of there. Why? Because you have enough guts to challenge them. And you have more ammo. So if they want to keep coming, then they're stupid because I might be a cover, but I've got more ammo. And as soon as I see you come to my cover, I have the advantage, not you. So if you want to come find me, help yourself if you're a bad guy or a criminal. But the thing is that the most important part is getting that gun out, even if it's one hand. Just get that gun out and start putting shots. Start putting shots on target. Now, if there's a situation where you draw like this, you fire one shot or two shots and they're far away and they start shooting at you, now I can use that second hand, okay? Because now I've got the distance where I don't have to use this hand. Whereas if we're up close and personal now and something happens where I pull my gun out, you grab my gun or something, I can get this knife out here. And I usually can get it from, I usually have this knife on the left side, not the right side. And, but you can get out your knife and use that too. So that's one option. Now, what you want to do with your knife is you notice that I have my belt here and I don't have my keepers on. Keepers are what keeps our bands that go around the duty belt to keep the stuff from moving. Now this knife is moving, so you saw how it was hard for me to get it out with this hand. Now this hand, no problem, I can get it out. But I need a better keeper on there so that knife will not move around as much. Let's see here. You guys have to understand something, that criminals and people that are going to rob you, mug you, or attack you and stuff like that, we have to understand that some of these guys used to be boxers. Some of these guys used to be into martial arts, okay? So these guys aren't dummies like we think they are, okay? And that's proven by law enforcement, how somebody that at 7 yards can cover that distance in 1.5 seconds, attack the police officer, disarm him, beat him up or whatever, take his gun. This kind of stuff is real. It does happen quite often. But the number one thing that where officers get killed is they don't have adequate cover. Because what they do is they get out in the open and they're not focusing on their cover, okay? I'll give you an example. When you're approaching a house, you don't just approach the house to the front door. What you do is you go to the tree that's in the front yard, okay? And then you go somewhere else. You go cover to cover to cover. It doesn't matter if it's just a domestic argument or something like that. You have to ask yourself, where is my cover? When I show up on the scene, where is my cover? That kind of stuff. And the other thing too, we have to understand is, I'll show you something here. Traffic stop ambushes. Imagine that this is an officer's jacket, a traffic stop ambush. So this is an officer's jacket. Well, he could have a little J-frame revolver in his right pocket. And what he could do is he could approach the car like this, making sure that that right hand is inside of his jacket. Now, they're not going to see him, but if something should go down, he can get that pistol out and he can defend himself in that traffic stop. Now, Bob Stash from Chicago Police Department had a podcast, and he was talking about that too. So I agree with him, because I've always told people that myself, that if you have a jacket, you want to have your hand on a J-frame or some other pistol. If you think that something bad is going to happen, if you're doing a traffic stop, or even somebody like me, if I'm at a gas station and there's nowhere else to get gas, and although I let the area clear so that nobody's around in the area, there might be a lot of people there. There might be some gang members there. So typically what I'll do is I'll wear the hoodie sweatshirt, because I can put this on right in the vehicle before I step out. And what I'll do is I'll have like a little Ruger LCP, which I have in here right now. And what I'll do is I'll pump gas like this with my left hand, and I'll just kind of pretend like I'm warming my hands, pumping gas, okay? Pumping gas, see? Or I can shoot right through here, so I've got it, I'm gonna be all right. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. There's other tips and tricks that I've learned, that I've memorized, that I might share with you guys. But the main point I want to make today is, don't ever call an open carrier stupid, okay? There's a lot of us guys that open carry, World War II veterans, Navy SEALs, police officers, okay? Any type of military, any type of police officer. We got SWAT team members that open carry. But like I said, we don't necessarily open carry every place, okay? Even if I can open carry downtown Minneapolis, I won't even go down there concealed carry, because I don't have any business being in a bad neighborhood or somewhere where I don't need to be, where there's a risk for me. So I grew up in North Minneapolis by Penn and Lowry, which is where the most shootings were. So I know from experience how violent these areas can get. So if I have no business walking at 3 o'clock in the morning on a sidewalk, having my gun out on my hip, open carry, if I have no business doing that, I'm not going to do that. But also, if I have no business doing that, I won't even do that when I'm concealed carrying. Even when I conceal carry, I will stay away from them areas. So don't make open carriers look like they're stupid. We do have a brain. We do know the risk. We do know all the things that come with open carry. We know about the good belt and a good retention holster. We know about situational awareness. We know about what places we should avoid and not go to, even if we were concealed carrying, okay? You don't want to be stupid. Just because you can conceal carry, it does not mean you have the element of surprise, because criminals today know that there's a lot of carry permits out there. So they're expecting you to be armed. You're not necessarily the element of surprise, okay? So we have to get rid of that notion that somehow that if I conceal carry, I'm the element of surprise. I can go down at Lake Street at 2 o'clock in the morning, or Penn or Lowry, and I can just walk around, and if anybody gives me any trouble, well, I'll just pull out my gun and shoot them, that kind of thing. You don't want to have that kind of attitude, okay? You don't want to be in any place that you don't have to be, even if you are concealed carrying, because it's not a smart place to be. If they randomly take out their guns shooting at police officer cars, like windows and doors and stuff, pop off a couple rounds here and there. If they randomly do that, they're going to do that to you when you're walking, even if you are concealed carrying. They might pop a couple rounds in your direction. Okay, that does happen. Sometimes people shoot at stuff just for no reason, okay? So you have to understand that. Especially criminals, they don't give a rip. You know, they'll pop off a couple 9mm on a street somewhere and take off. They don't care, you know. So the thing we have to understand is that as an open carrier, we're not necessarily stupid like people say we are. Now, what they'll do is they'll try to use a straw dummy argument against a open carrier saying why you should not open carry. And what they'll usually do is they'll show some guy in the hood with sweatpants on, with his gun hanging out of the back of his pocket. Well, even as an open carrier, I can tell you that that is stupid, okay? I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think he should be open carrying because he doesn't know how to do it. So don't go using that kind of straw dummy argument to portray the rest of us as somehow dumb and we don't know what we're doing. A lot of us know how to open carry, all right? We know how to do it. And the other thing is statistically, if you look at statistics, when it comes to open carry states, constitutional carry states, where you have incidences, like for instance, in robberies and stuff like that, what you'll find is if you roll back the tape in the store, you'll find that what the criminals had done is they had waited for that open carrier to leave the store so he could rob it. Why? Because an open carrier is kind of like a pit bull if they're situational aware. You know, if they're situationally aware, they're kind of like that pit bull, you know, where the risk isn't worth the reward. So he could probably draw on you pretty fast and he probably knows that you're there. So the thing is that in these tape reels of robberies and stuff where you have open carry states, like constitutional carry states like Kentucky or Tennessee or whatever, what you'll find is when they roll back the tape, they'll find out that most of the robberies occur when the open carrier regulars, the people that come in and out every morning and every afternoon with their firearm like this, you'll find that what happened is the criminals had waited till all them people were gone. Okay. So you're not necessarily a target if you're an open carrier. So we got to get rid of that notion as you're going to be a target and stuff like that. Now, I don't recommend going down, you know, in a bad neighborhood at night, you know, just carrying your firearm, just walking around saying, well, I can be here if I want. I don't care if this is a gang street or whatever. You know, don't be stupid. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that if you take the constitutional carry states where there's been robberies or any type of crime, you'll find out that if you roll back the tape for the whole day in that store, you'll find that your regular open carriers that come and go every morning and every afternoon after work, you'll see them coming and going. And the robbery usually takes place when they know that these people are gone. They don't want to challenge them, okay? So that's what you have to understand. So if I'm situationally aware, all right, and you're situationally aware as a concealed carrier, which one's faster? I am. Okay, I can get my gun out faster. It's a lot faster than, you know, your appendix carry or anything like that. So as they're asking you for money, like for instance, a guy comes up and says, all right, here's what I want you to do, okay? Or he comes up to you and say, give me all your money, okay? He didn't get to finish saying money. Give me all your money. Okay, he's already shot. See what I mean? So right when they're asking you the question, that's when you want to shoot. You know, if they got their gun out or knife or whatever they're doing, as soon as they ask that question, that's when you want to break the shot. So when it's a lot faster, if you're like this, you got your wrist touching the grip of the firearm, you can get it out like right now. You know exactly where it's at. Now, the guys that wear their firearm tight up against their body, I don't think that's a good idea because you're worrying about printing. Don't worry about printing. Because what's going to happen is when the firearm is up against your body, you're going to have to use that thumb to try to get in and get that grip, okay? And what we've seen on video, on self-defense videos, is when somebody goes for their gun where they have it tight up against their body, their thumb is going like this, and you'll see something like this. You'll see something like that because they're trying to get their thumb in there so they can grab the firearm rather than just like that, see? Look at that, even sloppy clothes, I can still get it out. So let me do a few draws for you here. I'm not as fat as you guys think I am. See that? Let's see. I need to lose a little weight. But anyway, let me put it where I usually have it. Okay, so I usually have it right about here. And what I do is, notice my middle finger, or not my middle finger, oh, this is my middle finger. My middle finger goes around the grip here, but it's also even with the seam line. If you see the seam line right there, that's how I know that I can just come up and grab it. Come up and grab it. Whereas back here, now you have to go back first and then here. Whereas 2 o'clock, you don't have to worry about that. 2 o'clock, all you do is make sure that the trigger is forward of the seam line so that your middle finger right here, see, you just come straight up. So I'm going to do 25 draws for you. Don't care about the reholstering, just look at the draw. I'm going to stand right about here. 1. So let's say that you're a competition shooter, okay? It's granted that you're fast and you can run, stuff like that. But depending on how you carry, even if you're appendix, it's going to take a while to get the gun out. So you have to understand that. The most important thing is that first shot. If you can land that shot in the heart or right in the cranial vault, you know, between the eyes and the ears, right in this T-shape area here, you know, if you can focus on hitting the heart or here, you know, the heart is basically a little bit off to the left here. So it would be kind of like in this position. So it's not center of mass like people say. It's just a little bit over this way. So anyway, yeah, it's fine and dandy if you're a competition shooter and you're really fast at shooting multiple targets and stuff like that. But the thing you have to understand is that most important draw that you're going to take is that first draw and that first shot. Because if you're late pulling out your gun, it doesn't matter if you're a competition shooter or not. Somebody could just shoot you with this jacket right here, okay? You got some kid that's in a gang, okay? and he's upset with you, and he's standing there like this, okay? You're a competition shooter. This kid has no experience, let's say, at a gun range or anything. He can shoot you through this jacket, or he can pull out a gun on you like that, far faster than you're going to draw. So all that run and gun, all that stopwatch crap, okay, makes no difference in a real world, because a real world isn't like a competition match, okay? You're not going from cover to cover to cover. The gunfight is within 7 yards. It only lasts about 3 seconds, and there's no second place winners. Either you lose or he loses. It's really that simple. Close quarters is what it's all about, okay? Competition shooting and stuff like that, that'd be more like military, like you're clearing houses and stuff like that. That's fine, okay? SWAT, that's fine. But generally speaking, an average citizen, what they face every day, the confrontation is going to be from here to here. It's only going to be less. It's going to be less than 7 yards. It's going to be less than 3 seconds. You're going to have a winner and you're going to have a loser. So thankfully, most private citizen defense situations, even as far as 250,000 or more, involve just showing the gun and the bad guys run. Just firing a shot, the bad guys run. Firing a shot, hitting one guy with one bullet, where it's non-lethal, they still run, okay? So mostly they leave because you are challenging them. So it isn't like the movies where they keep coming and stuff like that, okay? You're watching too much television. It isn't like zombies. When bad guys get shot at, they run, for the most part, okay? They're not as brave as they are in television, so stop listening to all that Hollywood crap and stuff like that. And stop applying context of law enforcement and military to the private citizen. They were totally different things. Sure, there's some similarities, but there's a lot of differences. For example, if I defend myself and get to cover and I don't have to fire any shots and the bad guys are gone, I don't have to chase them. I got a 5-shot revolver and a reload. What do I care? I don't have to go chase them. Now, if I'm a police officer, now I have to chase. What does that mean? That means I probably need more ammo now. I need a vest. I need to go find this person, okay? Or the other rare example of a private citizen being like military or police is a sheepdog thing, where you feel like you want to save somebody's life, so you go do that. But that is extremely rare when you count 250 to 500,000 incidences that don't involve a mall, okay, that don't involve some big area or something like that. A lot of these are home defense situations or little confrontations out on the street where you show the firearm or you fire one shot and everybody scatters. Okay, that's usually what happens. But anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, you guys. Appreciate your time.